legacy processes are very manual. There's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of man hours go into just the process, the old manual processes. So, modern technology, streamlining, you can redeploy resources and have them doing more value add efforts versus things that, are just manual. That can have a huge impact across the office of the CFO, just in general, to put them on more value add processes, functions, and add value in other ways, especially when there's something that can be automated. Take the opportunity to automate it. When I think about, so if I'm trying to quantify the inefficiency, today, it's an easy compare to how long it takes, the workload takes today versus what it would take in an automated environment. And so the easiest thing to quantify from an inefficiency perspective is how many man hours are involved. And maybe I have an open rec in another part of my accounting function. I could redeploy and I could immediately pick up that gain. I don't have to train somebody. They already know my ecosystem. They already know the environment. They're familiar with the tools, processes, people. So it's kind of a compounded efficiency that you would gain because you're slotting that person into doing somebody else's job and not having to take an external hire, for example. So that's not really a quantifiable efficiency that you're going to gain, but it's a real gain that you're going to get by moving that individual in there. And then just the time waste that's eliminated is dramatic. So the compare is really how you're going to determine the efficiency. The benefit, so when you think about where you can redeploy your resources from a strategic perspective, you've got accounting trained or accounting minded individuals that can be redeployed. If they're in a treasury department, they can become treasury analysts. Just general accounting, reconciliation. In our space, from a fintech or from a payments perspective, there's a lot of other reconciliation efforts that they can help with because of their training and background versus just processing, manually processing checks. I think when you invest in an AR automation solution, some of the quickest things you'll notice are the level of effort required. And so you're going to immediately get productivity gains. You'll probably bring down receivable balances. So you'll probably bring down balances pretty quickly. But what we hear the most is the manual effort and just how delighted some of the people doing the AR function are with the automation versus having to manually do things. So a lot of speed and efficiency that'll pick up. Levering technology from an AR automation perspective is no different than adopting any other technology, throughout time. And I think those that fail to adopt it, you'll see inefficiencies and a lack of interconnectivity within the broader, payments and transaction related ecosystem. So if you're manually trying to do everything and reconcile and you're pushing paper around, you're going to have delays, you're going to have imbalances, you're going to have a lot of things that when you automate your reconciliation processes, it just speeds up everything, reduces DSO, everything. But it's going to bring down the time frame for a lot of your issues, whether you have client issues, they have an issue, they're calling in on an invoice. Well, if it's got to go through a paper process, if it's got to go through a paper process, a manual process that's going to take time, that can be frustrating for clients. So I think over time you would lose customers because of the inefficiency and the frustration from the clients. Whereas if you have an embedded ecosystem and you're tying together your AR, AP, and your payments ecosystem, you're going to have a much more seamless process and you're going to have a much, much better client experience.